Riders and learners, what's going on? So, a couple things with this video. This is, for one, probably the first time that I am showing my face. There it is. So, hopefully, it's not too awful. Number two, this video is about a couple things. So, one is a little bit about my experience with RiderShare or Riders Share, that website. I think there's another website like it too, but I'll talk about RiderShare for this video. So this past week, I did RiderShare. Actually, I signed up a while back, but I did do uh, a booking, put out a listing for my Triumph Street Twin. Thought about making some money on the side. I was still am, but I was extremely scared renting out my bike to a stranger. So, was very concerned. Now, a little background information about RiderShare. They, get all your information about your bike. How new is it? Insurance information. Have you added anything on? Any modifications? I have a lot, so I was able to actually put down how much each piece that I put on, how much it costs. So hopefully, if in the case of some sort of accident, I'd be able to get that money back. But it seems like a great program from what I can see. But my main issue was the idea of having somebody on my bike that I worked really hard on to make it what it is now, but also to pay for it and ride it around for a day or longer than a day. But it turned out okay. So here's what happened. So I ended up meeting, the guy. I don't want to use his name because he may not want to be on YouTube, but he met me at my apartment. Talk through the bike. You go through this check-in process with RiderShare, right, online. One thing I would say about the check-in process, as I digress a little bit, when I do it on the app, not the app, from my phone, it only allows me if you have to take pictures of the bike, right, to show kind of the wear and tear beforehand versus the wear and tear after the bike is returned to you. The app or Mozilla on the website only allows you to take a picture with your front-facing camera. So imagine you're trying to look at the bike, but you're also trying to maneuver the camera at the same time. So it was not the best thing. So if RiderShare can fix that so that you can also use your back-facing camera so you can kind of see what you're taking a picture of, that would be helpful. So other than that, we went through that check-in process. This guy is great. If there's any person to have for your first time renting out to someone, it's this guy. So made a lot of connections. He also had a 917 area code, so I knew he was from the New York area. That made me feel a little bit better. And just talk a little bit about the bike, a little bit about his riding history, and then off he went. Made sure he had all his credentials and all that, helmet, everything, and yeah, there he went. Came back actually a little bit earlier than planned, which was fine. Great thing is he also took a picture of the bike wherever he was, sent it to me. It was very reassuring. It's almost like you're sending out your child to be babysat or have a play date with somebody for the first time, and it was a little nerve-wracking. But I thought that the guy who rented it out was great. RiderShare, I think, did a great job. He actually, the guy who came over to rent it, he did say I was a little too cheap. I should have increased the price. So you know what? I'm going to do that. So it's not going to be what it was anymore. And they recommend $50 for the price, which I always thought was a little low, but I went with the recommendation. Now the renter, he told me that's not enough. He would gladly pay $75 or more per day for that bike. So that's what I'm going to do. So that went well. So when he returned, we're going through the checkout process. Similar to the check-in process, you're just doing the same thing, kind of taking pictures all over again, making sure everything's okay, checking the mileage. I think that also happened before. During the check-in process, you do it after to see how many miles was on the odometer. Gas, I just preferred. I just really said I don't think there was any rule with the gas, but I just said my rule was that if you're using more than I guess one level, right, on the fuel gauge, if more than just one level is gone, I prefer that you'd fill it up. On the way back, did that. He had a great time. I think he went like 82 miles on the bike. It was awesome. And so now my bike is actually at the 2,000 mark. So I'm actually thinking of doing a 2,000 mile review of the Triumph Street Twin. Something I'm thinking about. So the guy came in, did all that he needed to do, and we talked a little bit about, the bike. He loved the bike. He said he had a great ride. It was actually a perfect day for riding too, so I was a little jealous. But other than that, it was a success story. Probably so much so that I ended up doing another rider share type of program, which is Twisted Road. So don't want to talk too much about that because I think they're a competitor. But I ended up just connecting with Twisted Road and just seeing why not do it. Try it out both sites, see if I can get different hits. So I already had 2 hits with rider share. So that was this past weekend for a day, Sunday. And then I have one in about 2 weeks for I think about 3 days. So the first one went well. The next one is going to be in a couple weeks while I'm on my break. So what I'm thinking of doing is having, once that particular session is done, I'm going to raise the price. I'm a little concerned now about raising the price because then I want that person who did the booking for the next week or so to get upset that the price got even higher. So won't do that. But after that, I'm probably going to increase the price because clearly $50 is not enough. So pretty good program, I have to say. Anything else I should say about it? I don't know. Side note, actually. So these videos that I'll be doing showing my face from time to time, I think the perfect place to do this is going to be right by this huge patio door. Perfect lighting. Also, number 2, I'm using things that I already had. 1, I'm using these Jabra, 75T earbuds. Also, at the same time, I'm just using my phone's front-facing camera, actually. Shout out to Samsung. Note 20 Ultra. So, that's all I got. Rider share was great. First one was great. I'm still a little concerned. Not as concerned as it was before, but I'm still a little concerned about renting my bike out, just because, anyone who does ride a motorcycle, you do know anything can happen at any time. So I don't know. We'll see how long I do this for, but If it can generate, I don't know, an extra $100 a month, $200 a month, why not? Especially if I'm using two different sites. So I would suggest RiderShare to anybody that's comfortable doing it. It seems like uh, a pretty good option. Now, I also want to talk a little bit about some other bike options that I saw in the Raleigh area. So, not too many things caught my eye, but I did see a few. So, one, I think I saw a Triumph Scrambler, Street Scrambler. That looks interesting. I did see, what was that? It was a, it wasn't a Triumph. What the hell was that? I can't recall anymore. It was something else. But the one that really caught my eye, I've really been thinking about eventually, when I get another bike, a second bike, a little bit more powerful than the Street Twin, is the Indian Chief. Now, the one that I saw in there is in Cary. I'm in Durham. So not that far, but Indian Chief Scout. It looks lovely. And so I kind of want to check that out. May rent it for some time. I don't know. We'll see. So it's a different type of bike. It's a cruiser, different look, different seating position. So I'm just curious. But I've seen a lot of what's this guy's name? Biasco over there. A lot of different Indian YouTubers out there. Indian company, not people. Indian chief YouTubers out there that really do focus on that particular brand of bike company. So we'll see. Thinking about trying it out. So that's all I got. First video showing the face. I just came back from work, so I look a little preppy today. So that's why I look like this. But the phone's working well. I think the sound works well. Hopefully it's not picking up too much nonsense that's happening in this apartment. This apartment has a whole bunch of other sounds going on in there from water and all that. But I think this could work. All right. Riders and learners, Mercs Moto's out.